Are you sure you can't give me a lift? Please, man, my Sylvia's broken again and I can't get around anywhere. Like, honestly, man, I really need a daily. Like, I just need a car I can just drive around in when my Sylvia eventually breaks. I don't even know what to get. You're not helping me at all. What the hell was that? Dude, I need a SSS Pulsar. Oh, I didn't see you there. Actually, I heard you just made the decision to buy a SSS Pulsar, and that's a great decision. And I'm going to tell you 5 things that you should do after you buy a SSS Pulsar. So one of the first things you should do after you buy a SSS Pulsar is service it. Now, these SR20DEs are very, very reliable engines, right? Especially this one here. I've had this car for about 4 or 5 months now, and I've had absolutely 0 issues with reliability. But after you first buy a car, no matter what it is, it's always a good idea to get it serviced and looked at by a professional mechanic. That way you have peace of mind driving it around knowing that it's been taken care of. And at the same time, you might be able to find any maybe little small issues that you can get touched up and fixed up, which is a plus. But these SR20DEs are absolutely amazing engines, and honestly, they just run like a dream. I've seen heaps and heaps of these things for sale that are over 300 plus, 400,000 plus kilometers. If these things are taken care of well and serviced regularly, these things will run forever. So if you do get a SSS Pulsar, make sure it's serviced and make sure you service it and take care of it regularly, and this thing will never let you down. Alright guys, so the second thing you should do with SSS Pulsar after you get it is do some security mods, right? We all want to do our mods first, our exhaust, our wheels, all that good stuff, but it's always important to do security first. Get an alarm. You know, you don't have to get a kill switch or a tracker, but if you want to, that's fine. But at least get a decent alarm system, just in case, just because these things do get stolen. Not that often, but it does happen, and you don't want to risk that happening to you. So get a good alarm system or something like that, and that's definitely the second thing that you should do. Alright guys, now let's get to the fun stuff. The third thing you should do after you get a SSS Pulsar is make it sound good. So we're talking, get a good exhaust system, right? So you could just get a muffler or a nice Canon exhaust, right? That's a good start. But this car actually has a full exhaust system. And guys, when you do an exhaust system to these things, they sound so good. Like, this thing pops and crackles. I'll put some sound clips in here of it driving. When you do a full exhaust system. When you let off the throttle, it backfires and pops, and it just sounds so good. And yeah, when you're driving around and you want to have a bit of fun, having a nice exhaust system definitely makes it so much more enjoyable. So this thing has a set of extractors, and it has a full exhaust. So it's got extractors, high flow cat, resonator, and a nice Canon, and it sounds really good. And another thing you can do to make this car sound awesome is get a pod filter. And what these do, as you guys may know, it adds probably no horsepower, and it's probably a hot air intake, but it sounds cool. It gives you some nice intake sound, and it just adds to the whole experience when you're driving the car. You know, you have the nice exhaust sound, then you have some nice intake sound, and it just makes it a lot more fun to drive. Alright guys, so the next thing you do after you have the car sounding good is you need to make sure that you have a sick sound system inside your SSS Pulsar. So make sure that when you're cruising down the street, you're going to Bay Street in Brighton Le Sands, you're going to Liverpool KKs, wherever you're going, you make sure that you have some hectic tunes slapping in your SSS. Alright, so to do that, you need to have a really good sound system. And once again, I was lucky enough that this car came with a really good sound system already. So it has a nice massive 12-inch subwoofer already in it. You don't really need something as hectic as a 12-inch or something that big. A 10-inch would be just fine, but if you want something that slaps really hard, a 12-inch goes a long way, along with, you know, full aftermarket speakers and things like that. It just makes the driving experience a whole lot better, and yeah, it just slaps really hard. So I'll give you guys an example. Alright guys, so now you've got your SSS Pulsar serviced and looked after, you've got the security taken care of, you've got it sounding good with a good exhaust and pod filter, and now all you need to do is lower the car to make it look nice and awesome. Once again, I know I'm saying this for like the 3rd time, once again I got very lucky that this thing came already lowered. So it has some lowering springs in the car. I'm not exactly sure of the brand of lowering springs, but as you can see, it's lowered to just the right amount where it pretty much closes the wheel gap, and it makes a big difference. We'll show you on the other side of the car because the wheels turn. So this car is lowered to just the right amount where the wheel gap is pretty much closed, and it doesn't actually scrape that bad, only on those really big little speed bumps bumps, it really scrapes, but other than that, I can drive this thing pretty much anywhere and don't have to worry about scraping or anything, and it still looks absolutely awesome. Now, another thing I think you guys should do after you get a SSS Pulsar, this is just personal preference, you may not have to do it, but I think having some nice window tint makes a really big difference. So this one's got some darker tint, obviously darker than factory, and it just makes the car look a lot more sleek, and that plus, you know, it being lowered and everything like that, it just adds to the overall vibe of the car, and it just looks good. I just love looking at this thing. And as a daily, you want something that you can have fun in to drive and something that looks good and sounds good. It's just the perfect combination. All right, so if you guys want to see what this car is like to drive and what it's like to own, I did do a video on it, which I'll put right up here, which is why the SSS Pulsar is the best daily. So if you want to see driving clips and my experience in owning it, give that video a watch. I go pretty in depth into it, so make sure you check that out. All right guys, so I hope I convinced some of you to get a SSS Pulsar. Even if you don't want to get it as a daily, even as a main car, they're a lot of fun. But if you have something like me, like I've got an S15 that's always broken, having a nice SSS Pulsar as a daily to get around in, it's a lot of fun, and they're so reliable, you don't have to worry about them breaking. And I really hope I could show you guys, you know, all the little things that you can do to this car to make it even better and even more enjoyable and fun to own and drive. And I hope I even convinced some of you to get one of these things. All right guys, so I really hope you enjoyed that video on 5 things that you should do after you get a SSS Pulsar to make these things even more fun and enjoyable. And make sure you subscribe for some more awesome regular car content coming to the channel. And if you enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that for more. And I'll see you guys next time on That Car Life.